I'm State Representative Paul LeVota. I'm the House Minority Leader, House Democratic Leader, and we're here today just to basically show that John McCain can come to Lee Summit, but there's a lot of people in Eastern Jackson County who are not happy with the Bush policies that John McCain's proposing. So we're here to kind of highlight the difference that Senator Obama is going to bring when he's elected president and how we can change the course of what our state is. I mean, you look at our unemployment in the country, 6.1%, highest it's been for years. State of Missouri, 6.4%, even higher. It's been in decades. We need change. And the economic policies that John McCain and Sarah Palin are proposing are exactly what George Bush has done for the 8 years. And people of Eastern Jackson County are tired of it. And they're ready for change, and that's what all these people represent. But you don't want to hear from another politician. You hear from someone who's really impacted by some of these policies. I want to introduce Bob Hathaway from Lee Summit and tell his
It's okay if I read. Is that right? Whatever you want to do. Thank you very much. My name is Bob Hathaway. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. I worked for the same information technology company for 15 years until my job was outsourced about 3 years ago. I used the time in the interim to be the primary caregiver for my mother until she passed away in January. Since, it's been a real struggle to find a job. 2 months ago, I did find a job at a retail outlet here in Lee Summit. I was let go from that job last week. I was told that I wasn't a good fit and that although I was a hard worker and a go-getter, I was too gung-ho. In my 53 years, I've never heard of someone losing their job because they were too good of an employee. I feel this was due in part, and no criticism to you, but I feel this was due in part because Missouri laws are very unfriendly to the worker, as well as economic conditions resulting from the last 8 years of the Bush administration. American workers cannot survive and flourish under 4 more years of these economic policies. The McCain economic plan calls for greater tax breaks for corporations and the wealthy, while promising to tax employer-paid benefits of workers. He promises to fight for more foreign trade agreements, which will ensure more good American jobs will be lost to foreign workers. I believe Barack Obama will fight for the right of American workers. He has promised to end tax subsidies for corporations that ship jobs overseas and create tax incentives for employers that keep jobs here in the United States.
Yay! Yay!
He has vowed to strengthen workers' abilities to unionize and to improve working conditions for non-union employees. These are policies that affect you and I personally. These are all policies that we should all fight for. Like many of you, I am purchasing a home. And like many of you, I am counting on the equity from that home as part of my retirement plan. I have seen that equity plummet in the last year. I have savings vehicles in place for my retirement that have lost 25% of their value over the last year. I have a pension from a longtime employer that I doubt will still be there when I get ready to retire. I'm afraid that my Social Security benefits will be drastically cut before I am of age to retire. If John McCain has his way, he will privatize Social Security, virtually ensuring its collapse. He would rather protect corporate interests than worker pensions. His main economic advisor lobbied to create the housing mess we are experiencing today, and then had the gall to call us, all of us, whiners. Personally, I'm not feeling the love. Barack Obama, on the other hand, has a plan to fix Social Security by temporarily increasing the wage ceiling to include the first $250,000 of wages. That won't affect you or I because I know we don't make over $102,000. Barack Obama wants to force companies to ensure the pension promises they have made to Barack Obama wants to force companies to ensure the pension promises they have made to employees are kept. He is currently supporting laws to shore up the housing market. Barack Obama is looking out for all of us, for you and for me. I also want to give a shout out to my nephew, Army Sergeant Christopher Hathaway. I am very proud of my nephew and his commitment to service to this country. Chris will soon be deployed to Iraq for his second tour of duty. This after being diagnosed with PTSD upon his return from his first tour of duty. Upon arriving this time, he will be issued a shotgun and an axe, tasked with breaking down doors and searching Iraqi homes for weapons. This does not sound like typical war efforts, but police actions. Is that why we remain in Iraq? John McCain wants to stay until we have won, but I have yet to hear his or anyone's definition of won. Barack Obama and the Iraqi government are interested in bringing our troops home in a safe and orderly manner. I am all for ending this thing and getting my nephew and your son or daughter or your husband or wife or your father and mother out of harm's way. These are only some of the reasons why I will be supporting Barack Obama with my vote this November. With all of your help, a brighter future awaits Americans. Thank you for your time. And I'd like to introduce Bettina.
Good afternoon. My name is Bettina Evans, and I lost my job with H&R Block due to the downsizing and restructuring during the subprime mortgage crisis. I had over 6 years with H&R Block Corporate and 4 years with H&R Block Eastern Tax Services. I worked by day as a business analyst and by night during the weekends as a tax advisor 3. I also have an MBA from Rockhurst that I just received in July of 2008. Even though I lost my job in March, I was still able to stay on with H&R Block doing taxes until April 2008. H&R Block purchased Option 1, who sold subprime mortgage securities, and they lost millions of dollars. Their strategy they used to recover the loss was to downsize their existing corporate staff. They originally sold Option 1, but it was too late for many positions to be saved, including my business analyst position. I was not the only one affected by the Bush administration who supported and approved these subprime mortgage securities as a financial institution's package to sell to Americans that did not understand the risk of an adjustable rate mortgage. I was fortunate to have secured a fixed rate mortgage. I realized the Bush administration approved the stimulus checks. With that stimulus checks I received as a single person, $600 did not pay my mortgage. The Bush-McCain administration also seized Fannie and Freddie, who holds a half of the American mortgages. But what about the other half of Americans that did not use Freddie or Fannie? I have a conventional mortgage from a well-known bank and was able to pay it when I had gainful employment. Now I'm sitting out here, as many Americans are, without a gainful position to pay household bills due to the mortgage crisis and recession that hit America in February of 2008. I have applied for many positions that I am qualified for, but have only heard from recruiters 4% of the time. 80% of jobs are obtained via networking. I know that many Americans have been affected by the economy, and we do not and cannot have the same type of politics that put us in this mortgage mess that we are in now, which is producing millions of foreclosures around the world. How can we believe and live the American dream of home ownership, being gainfully employed and supporting our families if our economy is in a recession? The McCain ticket has no plan to get Americans out of this recession, but the Obama campaign for change has a plan. I want everyone to vote the Obama ticket. Thank you.
So you see two people from Eastern Jackson County here talking about how the Bush-McCain economic policies affected their lives. Probably spoke longer than Senator McCain did in there, actually. More factual on what the policies are. So I don't know if you have any questions.